What's going on, guys? We are back with another episode of Sam's Content Sessions, I think what we're going to call it. We are here on episode number 2 with my good friend and client, Josh. Josh is a very successful realtor here in the East Bay area. Josh, if you want to just give a quick little intro for yourself.
Yeah, so I'm from New Delhi, India, and I moved there 5 years back. And I'm living in East Bay right now in San Ramon with Tasso Sakos, team working as a realtor. So yeah, that's my intro right there.
Yeah, amazing. Josh is a good friend of mine. He's super successful in what he does. Very personable guy. Very thankful to have him on our new podcast that we're starting right now, right?
So let's do it.
Yeah, we have a bunch of questions for you, Josh, because we know that you have a lot to say and a lot of value to give to the viewers as well. Just from, if you're a realtor, if you're a first-time home buyer, there are so many things that people need to know, and I think you have a lot of value to share with that audience. So let's crack into it, huh? Let's crack into it. So one of our first big questions, and this is, for anyone who's looking to buy a house, right?
Yes.
Is why should you buy a house in 2024? Why not just rent? Right? You still see how high interest rates are. What are the reasons to buy a house in this new year?
First of all, I usually tell anybody, if you can afford a house, buy it. Like, you bought a home right now, having like 2-3 people together, coming together and buying a property, because you're paying rent, which if you multiply the rent per year, you're wasting, on average, California people usually use 35 to 40K a year that they waste, which can go in your equity, right? That's the first thing that you should buy. The second thing is there's a lot of crashes that we see in commercial space, in other sectors, like your groceries getting expensive. So the only hedge against inflation is buying a property, because your mortgage usually goes down over time, but your rent increases, right? Mm-hmm. And the third part, which is very serious one, is that COVID happened. People are locked into rates where they're paying like $3,500 for a $4 million home. And even if there is a foreclosure or whatever in the future, there's a recession, people are still going to stay in that same house.
Right.
Because why would they sell? Because if they sell, they probably will rent a 2-bedroom home in Walnut Creek for $3,800. Mm-hmm. So that's the answer right there. So whenever you are comfortable in and can afford a mortgage, go for it, regardless of wherever you live.
Absolutely. And I completely agree. And that's why, I just bought this house, and I'm actually making a little video about the process of how I bought this house, because I'm 26. I'm on the younger side, I think, for most clients who are buying houses.
Very young.
I would say most of your clients are probably 30s, family.
Yeah, most of the clients are like 30, over 30, and most of the people think about buying when they are getting married or they live with someone. And clients like you, who, share with their friends and they buy a property, I think that's a really smart way to do it, because you can even make more money from other people just renting bedrooms.
Yep. Which is what we're doing, right? So I'm 50-50 shareholder now in this property,
which is awesome.
Which is great, right? So
you're a landlord now.
I'm a landlord, which is quite interesting to say out loud. But yeah, it's true. I'm a landlord.
It's a house hack.
Out to 2 of my friends. It's a house hack, right?
Yep.
So it's something that if you ever watch or listen to Bigger Pockets podcast, right? They're huge on house hacking. And especially in the Bay Area, when houses are so expensive in comparison to the rest of the United States.
Exactly.
How do you get into this market? And if you're young and you're able to, sacrifice a little bit of your communal space, you can house hack, which is literally what we're doing right now. Yeah. We're moving this house in December. We have 2 other roommates who are helping us pay down the mortgage, who are renting from us.
Yes.
Because we're landlords. But, the 2 owners of the property, me and Austin, live here in the property. So we're paying our mortgage, they're paying us to help
pay your mortgage.
To help split the difference, right? So
So just the nitty-bitty stuff. So you bought this home for $950?
I bought this for $940.
$940.
It came in at $930.
Okay.
They negotiated to $940. It was listed at $965. So
so you negotiated the price.
We negotiated down,
Which is
awesome. We were
the
only buyers that were interested, as far as we know, on the property. So we had some negotiation wiggle room. Our realtor, Kelsey, who I actually just brought on to our last episode, did a fantastic job negotiating.
I think I saw that video.
Yeah.
So you bought this house when the rates were 8?
When the rates were 7.5.
Exactly.
And we were actually able to come in at under market rate due to Morgan Stanley. So I think we locked in about 6.2.
Wow.
Which was, we came in a whole point or less or more under what the going rate was, which was fantastic, right? Because,
it's awesome.
8's pretty up there.
Pretty up there. And you bought it which month of the year?
I bought it in December.
So December is the best time to buy real estate. I
Okay.
tell this to clients all the time because you have to choose times when sellers don't have leverage. And December is the time. That's why when you're saying you got a good deal, I know why you got a good deal, because I'm thinking in my head, you bought in December or November, and December rates went down suddenly at the end of the December.
Yeah.
So now we're seeing this crazy market again, and you're a very good example of how to buy it right now. And how much down payment did you bring, both of you together?
20%. So we each put in about like, I think 80, 90, I think each. So
90,
20% down.
20% down.
I think that math adds up. So it was just under 100K, I think, for each of us.
Got it.
Put
And what's
20%
your
down.
monthly payment right now? Just approximate.
Approximately, it's about, I think, what is it?
Like
Five.
Yeah.
Five. Well, so it's including property and property tax.
Everything.
So everything, almost 6.
So 6, right?
Yeah.
And if you rent a home, a 2-bedroom home, you'll probably pay like something like this good, probably 3,600. And now you're having the same monthly payment plus people paying you mortgage. Like, it's amazing, man.
It's a sacrifice, right? You sacrifice having the roommates thing.
Yeah.
But if you're young and you already have roommates and you're renting anyways with your buddies, you might as well do that, right?
Do that, yep.
If you have the cash on hand to put down 20%. And
That's the only thing.
That's the whole thing, right? Is you have to have the cash on hand to, make that down payment to get in that lower rate. Because if you put down 4%,
your rates are killing you.
your rates are killing you. You're going to be paying like what?
It doesn't make sense.
You pay $6K per month, right? And then approximately, you'd be paying like probably 8K.
8K, yeah. My buyers, some of them, they will come like 3% down, and I'll tell them, man, your payments are gonna kill you.
Kill you monthly. They're going to kill you.
So there's a lot of like lenders, and you'll see a lot of programs that, hey, no money down, no nothing. I was like, but who's gonna pay the payment?
Yeah.
Your payment is like 12K, 13K for a $1.3 million house without no down payment. So. Good deal, man. Very good deal.
Thanks,
Happy about you.
Thanks, man. Yeah, no, it's been a wild ride.
That's what happens when you roam around with realtors.
Exactly.
You learn all the shit.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I do for a living, right? I work with realtors,
and
everyone tells me why I should buy a house, and I trust me, I get it.
You did good.
And we're on the ladder now, right? We're 26, so we're it's not gonna be the last house we buy. Let's put it that way. But that wasn't even a question, so I'm glad we got into that.
I love it.
Sweet. Let's pivot to the next question.
Yes.
You actually said a cool, interesting thing about buying a property in December is actually a good thing, right? And I think most people, I would say, agree that December, January is pretty slow season, right? For like real estate. Why do you say that's like, as a buyer?
Yes.
It's a good time to come in December, January.
Because there's a lot of things, right? Buyers are also, the school year is not there yet, and everybody goes for vacation. They have holidays come in. Families usually don't want to sell too as sellers. So you won't see a lot of listings coming on the market during that time. So what I notice is, and what happened this December, the rate suddenly dropped. So I was like, there's less inventory, less buyers, rates suddenly dropped. Not a lot of buyers are informed yet. And this is the best opportunity for buyers. And December, usually because of all the reasons, New Year is coming, Christmas is coming, if there's a listing outside, it usually will get hit.
Yeah.
So that's why I tell sellers that, hey, if we are trying to sell, let's wait till January or February before we go in the market, because that's the time you can actually get good value. But right now, December, I usually don't tell my sellers to list. So I had a listing, which is in San Ramon right now.
Yeah.
The seller was ready to sell in December, and I stopped them. I was like, we'll do it in January mid. And we got 10 offers. 9 non-contingent.
And I'm sure your sellers are like super stoked.
Oh,
right?
super stoked. The videos they were super excited about, the material that we picked for brochures and everything. We even had like a Mexican cart outside. So they've cooked fresh food outside the house, and we invited all the neighbors. So we had like 100 groups in our first open house, which is, that's what I tell people, like, when you choose a realtor, don't ask them like, what's your commission, what's your that. Commission at the end of the day is 2.5% on the listing side. Just ask them what value you bring. Because the way we marketed, the way we told them how to paint the home, exactly the color that the buyers would feel like a blank canvas. And at the same time, the best marketing, videos, speed ramp videos, which is another very good way to envision the property. Because I do like Matterport, but Matterport usually is very like, I would say, it doesn't give you that feel. It's just like press, button.
It's glitchy. I've had we usually, I don't even have Matterport in my packages. Like it's an individual service we offer.
True.
But so many of my clients just don't want Matterport because if they have video and they have like a speed round walkthrough.
Oh, it's so much better.
You watch that in a minute. You get the whole layout of the plus the floor plan, all that, right? So
plus the music helps.
The music helps.
The speed ramp helps.
People don't have the attention span to sit there and click through each freaking room.
Exactly my point.
Yeah, unless you're like an out-of-state buyer who like can't see the house in person, and you want to like see the ceilings and you want to see like very specific things.
And I would say there's time and place for that too, right? Totally. Like COVID was there, I think it worked, but now I don't think so. We're far beyond that point.
Yeah. So, no, I like that though. Like it's a great question to ask when you're competing for a listing is, what value will you bring in comparison to all the other realtors who are trying to, lower their rates maybe or, take less commission.
Exactly.
But end of the day, if that realtor can't sell that listing at the price that they want to sell it at, or higher, then
you're losing money.
And
it's so funny because it's at the end of the day, it's the perception, right? Perception is how the house looks, what they get, and small details. Like I had buyers and sellers, or even agents coming to me. They're like, "Josh, you usually do this every listing?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do." And they're like, "Oh, we saw your video, man. Usually we never see anyone's video, but your video I saw entire video because." Just the way you present yourself and the way you present the house. So I felt very proud of that point that the agents are coming and telling me you did great.
Yeah, no, you should be, man. 100%. I mean, video is the future, right? Like you see
100%.
how much. I mean, and you guys are super good at we met because we were doing video together, right? And video is a specialty for my company. Yes. I specialize in video production, right? So maybe you kind of talk a little bit about why video marketing has helped your company and your personal brand like
100%.
So much in client acquisition.
Yeah, so one thing which I'll tell, nobody's perfect on videos, right? You know how many mess up videos we have. But we all do mistakes. So
a lot of bloopers.
You don't have to hate yourself and be super caught up like, hey man, I will not look good or whatnot. Yeah. But I do feel if we are getting a listing, what are we doing for the property, right? And one of the things that people really started to notice me is like this guy is every single home that he does, even buyers, sellers, he makes a video about it, and present it the best way possible. I think that's the bare minimum you should do. Like for example, pictures, then drone pictures, and the best thing I think which I have seen a big return is videos, and negotiation, what kind of agent you are, everything is behind. First, the buyer sees the pictures and the videos. If you do that right, the buyer's going to come to that house and at least there's an opportunity that he will like it.
And that's half the battle, isn't it? Is getting the buyer in through the door.
That's it.
And like you said it there first, right? And that's why also we're doing branding, we're doing marketing, we're doing content, because we know the power of photo and video.
Yep.
And that's the first thing that those clients will see are the photos and the video. Right?
Exactly. And there's a lot of different ways you can bring more buyers to your doorstep. But
totally.
Again, this always is a good piece to the puzzle because I can list a property super low, get more people at the door, but at the same time, I can put nice videos too that they go crazy about it. And it helps.
It helps, 100%. I mean, social media marketing, for instance, right? You guys have been blowing up social media.
Yes.
Running social media ads. Small things like that too. And it also, it creates this, a wealth of knowledge, right? So we're shooting a podcast right now. It puts out knowledge to the industry because you have so much to share.
Yep.
Because, you've been practicing at this for a long time now, and it's hard. It's hard being on camera. It's hard doing video. It's hard.
It is. And I think if you see, Sam, you too, like if you go to our page and you see what we were doing 2 years back.
Yeah.
Compared to that, what we're doing today and how much we, refined our skills. It's just like any other work. Yeah. You practice, you get better. You practice, you get better. Just like editing.
Yeah.
First videos, sucks. It's like, oh, that transition is like, and now you're like having smooth transitions. So it's all practice.
It's all practice. It's all, it's a slow process for sure.
Yes.
But you got to just keep at it. Consistency is
I'm
huge,
just fast with it. That's it. I learn fast. That's what I'm good at.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. That's what I would say.
Cool. We kind of just talked about the importance of the real estate marketing, so we don't have to kind of get into that. Walk me through some big do's and don'ts of the industry. Just as a realtor, when you are, working with a client, maybe as like a first-time home buyer, what you're looking for, big do's and don'ts that you see constantly, over and over again.
For the buyers, I would say first don't try to do things yourself. Go to a local expert who's been, who's local, who knows the area. Don't try to find your uncle and aunt who's living like 30 miles away, because, trust me, our brain cannot process a large area. Like if you ask me, what are you specialize in? I specialize in Tri-Valley, Danville, Livermore, Mountain House, Tracy, but that's it.
Yeah.
After that, I cannot comprehend. I don't know the market. I don't know the agents.
Yeah.
So if you're a buyer, you should really get a local realtor. That's the first thing. Don't try to do the job yourself, because there's a lot of opportunities that you miss because of timing. And I cannot stress you enough how many deals I have done midnight because of the opportunity, and sometimes off market. So if you think you can shop rates, you can, get a discount by an agent, I think those are the things you should not really focus on, because it's such a small piece to the puzzle that the reward on finding a good agent, and then the agent doesn't even leave you there. Like me, once the transaction is done, actually I'm more involved with you afterwards, because if you need help, I'm right at your doorstep.
Yeah.
You need a contractor. Like yesterday, a buyer called me, who's the best dentist here? Who's the best this here? I gave them a list of like, hey, this is the best guys.
It's an ongoing relationship.
Exactly my point. So,
and when you're trying to nickel and dime, you don't get the best out of that. I mean, that's the same when you try to go for any cheap service, right? Like
yes.
You're looking for the best price. You're always looking for the best price. What you should be looking for is the best value. Right?
Yes. Price is important. I'm not saying it is not.
100%. If you can get a discounted rate for a great realtor, why not?
Why not?
Why not? But you want to make sure that realtor is doing a good job. That's not just cutting corners. Maybe they give like a $2K off their commission or something like that to you, right? They do a payback. I don't know how that.
Sometimes people do a percent back. Like Redfin has been a discount broker, and you can see all the reviews for those people. Like, and what I'm trying to say is, when we get 2.5% for our commission, for example, right? Most of that commission, because we have that commission, we can put back to the listing. We do staging, we do
marketing,
best
video,
photography,
aerial, right?
Right?
It's an investment. It's all an investment. 100%.
It's all investment. It comes back to you.
Yeah.
It just comes back to you. And if I reduce commission on the buyer side, you're not gonna get more agents at your doorstep.
You're not gonna bring our team. You're gonna have to bring somebody cheaper who does a worse job, and then you don't get as many people through the door, and then you don't get a buyer. Right?
Exactly.
So it all trickles down.
And if you're a listing side, for them, I have just one tip. Don't list out of panic. Don't list your home just because you're panicking in some situation. And second, like I said, find a local realtor. That's the key to getting the best deal, because they know the inside of the market. They do it every day. And one thing which is so important, find a realtor who's a people person. It just makes a big difference. If you have an egoistic guy or a big team or like somebody who's like reaching out to that person is a pain in the ass, just don't do it.
Yeah.
Get somebody who's available right there, because you don't know what phone call was the highest bid offer. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. You gotta find it's real estate industry is all about who you know and timing and your kind of skills, honestly, like socially as well, right?
Yep.
It's picking up on little hints that
like for example, I'll give you a very good example. My listing when I just was in San Ramon, because I have done so many negotiations, Sam, with buyers, I was like, I can sell this home right now. But I was like, no. I did the food event. I did the open house. I could have taken my check and run away. I was done. I was like, no, I'm going to do entire process, market the hell out of this listing. And after that, I'm going to get the offers. And that's how we got 10 offers. But I could have got one offer.
You could have got one offer, walked away with your commission check.
That's it.
But that's
responsibility, right?
That's your ethics playing, and that's what you want.
That's what I want for my clients.
Hire a realtor. Absolutely.
That's it.
Absolutely. That's a great response. We'll cut that in for sure.
Yes.
Sweet. We only got like one or two more questions for you, man.
I know.
Yeah, take a pause.
Thanks, got it. 1 second. Okay. Okay, done.
Yep,
Still
all good.
not.
All good. Sweet, so sweet. That's just how it goes in the real estate industry.
Yeah,
folks.
yeah.
It's,
If you
it's constant. It's you give up a 9 to 5 for 24 right?
hours. Yeah. So I usually have phone with me entire time.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of like places where people say, you know, you should not
put your phone away.
Put your phone away. I understand that, but our job doesn't work like that. I have just kind of evolved into a person where I switch off and switch on very quick. So I can switch off this in my head. I kept it. It's off. Now I'm back with you. But the moment I need it, I can go back right away.
Yeah, because you have to. That's just part of the industry, right?
That's
just how.
And being
if you want to be great in this industry, you have to make sacrifices.
Exactly,
right? There's so much competition for you guys.
100%. And being somebody who came to US like 6 years back, one of the things that I've get a lot of compliments is, Josh, you're available every second. We text you, we get a text back even at 11 p.m. If I'm up, they're gonna get a text back like, hey man, what do you need? Call me right now.
Yeah.
And I'll wake up from my bed and I'll be like, hey, this is what you need. Because see, these are emotional decisions, right?
Yeah.
When you were buying, you probably were sitting with your buddy at night and talking about homes, right?
Always. Yeah.
Always. And maybe on a day off.
Yeah.
Those are the days people connect. They sit and talk about these things, and we have to be available for them.
Yeah.
That's one thing why I say it's not a 9 to 5. So don't come into this business.
No, like you said, you've done many deals at midnight, right?
Yes, I've done. Now I'm, I think, kind of coming close to my 40th deal. So yeah, within.
Dang.
Even last year was the hardest, and I think only 50% of the agent did only one deal. That's last
wild.
year.
Yeah.
And I did 9.
That's sick. Yeah.
As a new agent. So, which I'm super proud because when I saw at the end December, I was like, oh, I did very less deals. And then I was running stats and I was like, wow, people really did not even close one deal.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm surviving.
Thriving.
The worst.
Surviving is not the word, man. I think
worst-
thriving, if you've
yeah,
done
the
9
worst-
deals,
the worst-
that's almost a deal a month, bro.
Yeah, but the worst year for realtors was the last year I've heard.
Yeah, no, I was actually just at a kickoff event for Dudum, and they were literally saying how I think that was the worst year for realtors just across the board, right?
But this year it's changing a lot.
Yeah, like, I mean, you already see it like turnover rate right now.
It's like 2 deals I've closed. Tasso and Chris already, I think they are trying to close the 5th deal in just like 2 months. Yeah, so market is getting hot.
Hell yeah, that's awesome, man. Yep. That's awesome.
That's 2024 for you guys.
2024. Here we are. We're doing podcasts. We're selling houses. That's how.
Selling
that's
houses
how,
on
that's
the
how it
side.
goes.
My
That's
phone
how it
is right
goes.
behind my hips right now.
Yeah, 24, man. 24.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I know you guys just did a massive listing, right?
Yes.
And I think there's one thing selling condos. It's another thing selling $20 million properties.
Exactly.
And I know this was like probably 20,000 square foot home or something ridiculous, right?
Yeah, it's a massive home. Tasso sold this house, I think 2018, if I'm not wrong, for 19 million that time. And to build this property, they spent like 135 million to build it, right? First of all, you don't have a clientele like this, running around. So you do have to present it the best way possible. And I think Tasso got the listing back with Mary Lee this time because Mary Lee was the buyer's agent. And I think Tasso did a fantastic job doing a broker's tour. Bentley, Lamborghini was there, which was another, when you have this kind of listing, you have to bring that thing to the table. They marketed the whole, because being with Engel and Wolkers, one of the things is they are worldwide. So that's one of the reasons Tasso wanted to bring EV to the Bay because the exposure they have around the globe.
For that type of clientele,
exactly,
because you
can't
just sell that to any Joe on
you
the street. You're looking at the 0.001% of
even less. You're looking for billionaires, basically.
Yeah, I mean, who else can afford a $20 million home?
Just Google how many billionaires are in the world, and that's the percentage
kind of
you
percentage
have.
that you're going for. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
So walk me through the process of marketing that home, because obviously it's a different process than marketing a 30,000 square foot home.
Yes.
You put a lot of marketing into that because
100%.
you have to reach this super small. I know magazines pick it up and you got exposure that way. So walk me through a little bit about how you guys did that.
So what I remember and what I was going through the process with Tasso, I think we hired the best photographer for that specific house. One picture took 600 edits, like one picture alone.
Yeah.
And then the video was done very specific that we don't want to make it look like generic. we want to make it look like kind of like, like a lifestyle, like a person living in that
it's
house.
It's a full commercial shoot.
Full commercial shoot. Yeah. So, when you're presenting a listing like that, that's what I would expect from any realtor who's doing it.
Yeah. No, you bring on a production team. That's the thing.
100%. There was like drones, bro, FPV flying inside the property from outside like next level stuff.
Yeah.
The exposure that this listing got because of Tasso and Mary Lee is insane. Yeah. Like insane.
But what did you guys spend on that for marketing?
Oh, that's another question. I think probably close to 100K. Yeah. That's what I
that's insane.
That's what I think they spend.
100K.
Yeah. I think close to
Okay.
Because there's event, there's videography, magazines.
Exactly. Yeah. You have to mark. I mean, when you're making 2.5 commission on 20 million, you have a bigger budget to spend on marketing, right?
Exactly.
So that's the thing as well, is you kind of have to provide more value.
True.
Because the tide shifts, right?
Yes.
It's
and to me it's kind of like, okay, would you do listings like this all day? Probably no, but it does bring a big listing to your portfolio. Like, hey man, you can
sell this. Like,
you can sell it. You have that caliber of going through a $35 million listing and actually get it done. That shows something.
Yeah.
So that shows you if you have a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 million, we can handle it.
Yeah.
So that's exactly the point.
Yeah. No, good for you guys, man. I was very impressed with that, and all the content looks sweet. So
awesome.
Yeah.
I try to help Tasso with as much as I can with videos.
Yeah.
But yeah, that guy's a killer.
Yeah, he's a killer. He's a beast. All right, let's pivot to. Okay, one of the last questions.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about your experience, I think, working with Sam and Sam Bennett Media.
100%.
So, your boy right here.
Yes, sir.
Talk a little bit about, how we met, I guess, and then also why. I mean, we talked about how powerful real estate marketing and like the tools that you guys use to sell your properties into.
Yes.
Client acquisition and the value you provide. So talk a little bit about, working with companies like myself and why that's super important.
Yeah, like with you, the first time we met was through Instagram. Yep. I remember you dropped a text to me and I was like, I saw some of your pictures and I was watching your videos with Amy Grace.
Yeah.
So Amy was my first mentor. Yeah. So I was like, hey, Sam's doing
Shout
your
out
videos.
Amy. We love
yes,
Amy. Yeah.
100%. So I was watching videos and I was like, and then you sent me a message and I was like, yeah, let's do a project. And I had a listing in Tan Oaks, which Fremont we met.
Yeah.
And I just joined team with Tasso and you offered, and I had some videos clips that I already shot for that home. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I want to save your time, but I want to see what you do. I introduced you with Tasso, and that's how we first got into our first video. And you did an amazing job with our intros. You use a very good lens for intro videos, and you have a different lens that you choose for like the real estate and then for the person itself, which I love. And one thing which I really liked about working with you, you're really easy to work with. And at the end of the day, it's like how creative the person is who's shooting behind the camera, right? There's little what we can do, but it's like what that guy can tell us to do because it's you at the end of the day, right? And Tasso and I have been super happy with the results, the events that you do, a lot of comments. So yeah. I definitely like the return on investment when we work with someone like you is, a lot.
Yeah. So, and I appreciate that, man. I'm not paying him to say this.
Oh, no. See, first of all, man, you can pay me. I will still say shit. So nobody can pay me to say good stuff.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, thank you. That means a lot, seriously.
100%.
From you guys, it's
thank you.
That means a lot. So I appreciate it.
And I think you're kind of like top in our business in this area. So it goes without saying that some of the content that you've been posting has been one of the best. And I think last year last to last year, I think your real estate videos was the one that I was watching across the board. Like Compass was actually doing yours a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, you were killing it too.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it. I mean, it's a hustle, right? It's the same as you guys. We're our own business owners,
Yeah.
It takes a lot, to be top of the food
chain. Yes.
And that's how it goes. There's a lot
but
of
it's fun
competition, but it's fun, right?
Yes.
Like we get to do fun, creative things like this, and it's like it's Thursday at 3 p.m.
Yeah.
We get to kind of come in here and
I love it.
Shoot.
In your new house, like
in our new place, shoot
100%.
Cool new content. So
I love it.
That's pretty much it for me, man. Unless you got any questions for me, I think pretty
it's good.
solid.
Solid. I think it was really dope. we talked like good shit.
Yeah. Sweet. Let me just wrap it right here, but
yes.
Just want to thank Josh one more time for coming on to episode number 2 of the SBM pod.
Yes, sir.
Super appreciate Josh. He's a very successful realtor. We'll put his info as well down here in case you guys want to reach out to him.
Perfect.
And, yeah, you guys have a fantastic
See
Thursday.
you guys soon.
We'll see you on the next episode.